and let's just go ahead and jump into today's look. For priming my eyelids today, I'm going to be using the PLouis Base in 02, Rumour 02. And I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. So I'm just taking some of that PLouis Base and on a little flat tail brush, and I'm just going to apply that pretty much from my eyebrow down. And I'm just like patting it and pulling it, just so that product applies evenly. Okay, so we're gonna start off today's look by going into Blue Monday from the Blue Blood palette on a Morphe M222. And I'm just gonna start off by just applying this shade in this corner. Again, just like tapping motions. And I'm slowly working up my crease, blending it out. Just a little bit of Blue Monday tucked into the crease, and as you guys can see, the pigment in this is so beautiful. Tapping it, putting it right there, absolutely no blue is getting up here, and that's something that when you tap, you're able to achieve that. But if you're just going windshield wiper motion all over the eye, like, you are going to have a really messy look. And when I go to apply more color on top of this blue, it's gonna look messy. It's not gonna look like the color I originally applied. It's not gonna be cute. So now I'm going to take a little bit bigger of a brush. I'm taking a Morphe 507, and I am just going to dip into Flourishing right next to the Blue Monday, still from the Blue Blood palette, and I'm just going to put this right on top of the Blue Monday. And now I'm going to go back in with a little bit of that Blue Monday and just freshen up this color a bit. I'm going to dip into the yellow from the James Charles palette and just hit up a little bit of that white, flick off the excess, and now I'm just going to put that right on top of that green. I just put a little bit of concealer on the back of my hand like this, and I take a flat tail brush like this. I literally just got this from Michael's, like, it's super cheap. Now I'm just going to go in and just, I like mine to be a bit bigger, so I'm just going to stamp that right there and start cutting that out. Okay, so now that the crease is cut right there, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same exact thing to the other eye, and we will be right back.
3 hours later.
We are back, and as you guys can see, the eyes are done. And now we're gonna go ahead and move on to foundation. So for foundation, I have been using and loving the Dior Forever Undercover 24 Full Coverage Foundation. I'm going in with the shade 015. And I just like applying it straight to my face because then I don't lose all this product and transfer. So I just go ahead and I put it right on the skin, girl. I would say that the Dior Forever Undercover, this is just with one base layer down. As you guys can see, it is actually pretty full coverage. One gives me a pretty good coating. Obviously, I'm gonna go in a little bit more and perfect it a little bit more. But I think for something like work or just like going out all day, like, I would be totally fine with the amount of coverage that we're working with right now. We threw Tarte Shape Tape out the door for today, and we are going to go in with the Jeffree Star Cosmetic Magic Star Concealer in the shade C12. First of all, let's just like get started on this packaging. If you guys can see that packaging, it has like little flecks of holograph in it. I really love this design, this print, and I feel like it really matches with the product. I mean, like, this is so beautiful. It feels like a royal Egyptian used it. So now I'm just gonna take some of this and just kind of go in. Okay. This applicator, if you can see, just leaves me little streaks. It isn't the end of the world and it has nothing to do with the product, but I just like the Tarte Shape Tape applicator better. So I'm just gonna go like that, and I'm going to take my Morphe Y6 and just blend my concealer into my foundation. And I'm only doing one side just because I don't know the consistency of this concealer and I don't want it to dry in place. I'm gonna go in with a Morphe Beauty Sponge. Okay, so this is with no concealer and this is the side with concealer. It's full coverage. It is full coverage concealer. So far, no creasing whatsoever. It looks super good up close. I would say really similar to Tarte Shape Tape. So obviously I'm gonna have to see how this wears throughout the day, but just from my initial first thoughts is that this makes my face look snatched, and I really like this concealer so far. Obviously we're gonna have to see, and you know, I might change my mind in a week if I actually like it in comparison, you know, looking at something the first time. But so far so good. So far so good. This is looking pretty good. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and set everything with a wet beauty sponge and the Laura Mercier translucent powder. So I'm just taking a wet beauty sponge and just dabbing it all over. So this is the Marc Jacobs bronzer in Tantastic. I'm gonna use that to bronze up my cheeks. And I'm just keeping my bronzer pretty high. I'm not going like down all the way here. I'm keeping it up just to keep it cleaner. It won't be as messy, and it'll sit on top of like my actual contour line instead of sitting below. So my face is actually gonna look smaller. My cheekbones are gonna look pushed up, lifted up instead of pulled down a little bit. Now that I have my cheekbones and my forehead contoured, I'm gonna go in for the nose contour. So I'm just using a Morphe brush. It doesn't say the number, but it just is like this. And I'm just going to take a little bit of product, tap off the excess right there, and just run it along my nose line, kind of pinching it a little bit more than I normally would. And so now for one of my favorite parts of doing makeup is the bake process. So for the bake, I am going to get a wet beauty sponge that we were using before and some of that Laura Mercier powder and put it into the cap like this. And I'm just going to get a good amount of product. I would say like about this much. And we're just gonna go from where we contoured and just make lines to clean it up. And as you guys will see, like when I take it off, it will just clean up this line so much and just do wonders for the contour. And then for the nose, we do pretty much the same exact thing. Just come down, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and go in with some blush. This has probably been sitting on my face now for about 5 minutes. And so I'm just gonna start wiping it away with the blush. So I have some blush on a brush. And I am just tapping that right at the apples of my cheeks and slowly working that up to my bronzer. Now that we have the blush on, I'm going to go in with highlighter as well. For our highlighter today, I am going to be using the Fenty Beauty in Lightning Dust and Crystal Fire. I'm just going to tap into both, go back and forth, and just give a light dust of highlighter. And I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger, a little bit. Cute. Oh, she's cute or whatever. Moving on. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the bottom eyeshadow portion of this look. I'm going to take a Morphe 562 brush, and I'm just going to dip into that root canal shade, get a pretty good amount on my brush. And if you got a little messy, that's all good because we can just clean it up with what's left on the beauty blender. Now we can wipe off the rest of this bake. And so from this step, before I move on, I'm just going to spritz my face with some Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. And just another little layer, you know, while we're at it. Okay, so we are back with lashes, and now I really feel like I've grown into this look, and this look is really that bitch. I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid lipstick in the center and pat it out. And now I'm going to do one more spurt of some setting spray. Okay guys, so that is going to wrap up today's look and today's video. She is a cute blue, green, yellow kind of moment, kind of vibe. We like really love her. If you guys want to keep up with everything that I am doing, I will leave my Instagram and my Snapchat down below. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.